over to her. So Lisa, take it away.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Kathy. And thank you for everybody who made the time. I know a lot of you are HAYVN members, and I've had the pleasure of meeting you. I know some of you are not, and some of you are in different time zones. So thanks for getting up early and being a part of this. I am Lisa Corrado. I specialize in coaching entrepreneurs to help them get out of their own way so that they take the action that matters and get the results that they want. What we're going to talk about today is one of the things I do with my clients. We're going to focus on limiting beliefs. And I've done this with some of you before. The beauty of this is we can do it over and over and over again. It always has value. So we're going to talk about limiting beliefs, how to conquer them, how to get them out of our way. And this is going to be a little different than the typical 20-minute presentation. This is going to be more of a workshop. So I am going to take you through some exercises, and I want you to do the work as we go along. This may mean you need something to take notes, whether it's your laptop, whether it's, pen and paper. If you can store everything in your head, that's fine. David, at least I know you're driving, so don't write anything until you pull over. So however you can do the work is really, really great, because I want you to leave here feeling like you've got something in your hand that is now actionable for you. I will keep an eye on the chat box for questions. So if you have a question, post it in there, please. I'm happy to answer them as we go along. And I'll also make sure to see if there are any questions, because I don't want anyone to get stuck and feel like they don't know how to move on, because we want to take some action here today. So let's start off with, what is a limiting belief? A limiting belief is something that we create that holds us back. They tend to be stories that we tell ourselves, stories that we buy into, that keep us from doing something, from moving forward. And they're things that we put in our way to block our progress. And why do we do that? Well, they're a way of keeping ourselves safe. Think about it. If you don't try something new that might be a little scary, or if you don't make an effort, you can't fail, right? There's no way to fail if you're not doing something new. So you stay nice and safe wherever you are. You're unable to fail, but the thing is, you're not moving forward either. You're not getting somewhere new. You're not getting to where you want to get to. So we're going to dismantle limiting beliefs today. So what is, when I say limiting belief, you may have one pop in your head. Here are some examples of limiting beliefs. They can sound like this: I don't deserve this. I'm not ready to do this next thing. I often hear, other people are really, really good at this. Why should I even bother trying? Limiting beliefs often start with, I can't. I can't because, and you can fill in the blank there. Or I've heard this too. I can't take this next big step until I do this little thing. And that little thing is the thing that you never get to, right? You keep that little roadblock there. You can come at it a different way. Limiting beliefs can be really tricky. They can sound like, I'm the only one who can do this right. That's something I've felt in the past. I'm the only one who can do this right. So that gets in your way because it keeps other people from helping you. It keeps you from delegating. It makes you do all the stuff that needs to happen, so you're not doing any one thing very well. Or it could be, I'm the one who has to be responsible for everything. These are all stories. They're not bedtime stories. They're daytime stories we tell ourselves that keep us from moving forward. And everybody has them, right? Especially if you joined this call, you have some limiting beliefs, and they're as unique as you are. So everybody will have a different one or a different set of them. And they are powerful. They're very, very powerful. They keep us from accomplishing something. And they're tricky in that they're easy to rationalize in the current moment. They make a lot of sense right now. So what we're going to do today is go through a really cool exercise that's designed to get you to examine a limiting belief and replace it with a positive, helpful, forward-thinking statement. This is an exercise that's been popularized by Tony Robbins, so it might sound a little familiar. It forces you to look at your limiting beliefs in all different time zones, in all different dimensions, so that there's nowhere for them to hide, so they can't be tricky and hide in a dark corner somewhere. So here's how it works. And I'm going to give you the overall thing, and then we're going to go through each step. You're going to start off by taking a few minutes to jot down some limiting beliefs, at least 2 or 3. You may come up with even more, and if you do, that's fine. We're going to focus on 1 today. So as you make your list of limiting beliefs, once you have your short list, circle the one that has the most power, that holds you back the most. I might have said this. Remember, you can keep doing these exercises for all of your limiting beliefs. So even though we're only going to focus on 1 today, you can go back and do this over and over for everything. We're going to take a look at what this belief is costing you, the price you're paying to hold on to this belief. We're going to go through 3 different time zones. We're going to take a look at the past. We're going to take a good look at the present. Then we're going to take what might be an especially painful look to the future. Then we're going to get out of the painful part and replace the limiting belief with a positive belief that will help you move forward and get out of your own way. So I'm going to walk you through each step. I'm going to give you a few minutes at each step. And if you have any questions, like Kathy said, put it in the chat box with the word question. I don't want you to feel hung up. I'm happy to answer questions as we go along so you can participate as fully as possible. Okay, so before we go on, does anybody have any questions right now? One question was, what's an example? So examples can be, I don't deserve this. I don't deserve to receive good things. I don't deserve success. Or I don't know enough yet. I'm not ready to do this yet. I'm not as good as somebody else who's done it. Those are some examples of limiting beliefs. Any other questions? Okay, so we're going to get started. Step number 1, think of at least a couple of limiting beliefs that you have that you know to be true for you. And you can write out more if you want. If more come to mind in the couple of minutes I'm going to give you, you can write them all out. But then I want you to choose the biggest, baddest, most powerful limiting belief, the one that is holding you back the most. And I want you to circle that, because that's the one I want you to focus on. Why not? Well, let's tackle the biggest one right away. Okay, so I'm going to give you a couple of minutes. Take some notes on a handful of limiting beliefs that you hold on to, and circle the strongest one, the most powerful one. Give you another minute or so to get that down. And be brave. Pick the biggest, baddest one to focus on. Okay, does everybody have at least one limiting belief to work with right now? Okay, yes, thank you. Thanks, Melanie. So let me ask you, I typically do this in person, and I ask people if anybody wants to share what they came up with. It's completely fine if you don't want to. We haven't done a lot of work to get to know one another and feel more comfortable, but if anybody wants to throw something out there, that would be great. So if anybody wants to share, put yourself, say you will, in the chat, and then you can unmute yourself. And if you don't want to, totally fine. Taking a bit of a leap there, asking you. Okay, Rachel, go for it. Unmute yourself.
Hi, Lisa.
Yeah.
I've got quite a few. So I narrowed it down to, and it's a hard one to say out loud, but clients don't want to spend money on my services.
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. We're going to get rid of that today. Thank you. Thank you for sharing, Rachel. I appreciate that. Yeah. Thanks for being the first. Eileen, unmute yourself and share.
I had one like Rachel's, but I went with, after leaving my six-figure job in the city and launching my business, I'm never going to earn a decent living again.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. We're going to tackle that today. Thank you for sharing that. Kelly, go ahead and unmute yourself and share.
Hi, Lisa.
Hey, Kelly.
Mine is, I am just not good enough yet.
You got a couple things in there. I'm not good enough and not yet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Powerful, but we're going to tackle it. Ginger, do you want to share yours? Okay. Oh, you don't have a microphone. Okay, so I'm going to read. Ginger, do you want me to read yours? Okay. This chat's working really well. So Ginger's is, I'm not financially savvy enough to invest in the stock market. Okay. Yeah, that is a great one. Jean says, Rachel, I'm a photo organizer and I have the same limiting belief. All right. And David's dittoing it. I think we all have faced customers who don't want to pay, right? Okay. Cynthia, would you like to unmute yourself and share?
Yeah, thanks, Lisa. I guess I feel like if I'm really authentic, then I'll be kicked out of the tribe.
Oh, wow. So if you're really, wow, there's a lot there. If I'm really authentic and I'm really myself, I'm going to get kicked out. People aren't going to like me.
Right.
Yep. Okay. Boy, you guys are picking really powerful ones, and I'm so happy that you are, because that'll give us something really meaty to work with today. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't know, Cynthia, if you're seeing in the chat, people are saying, yep, that really resonated. Sure. All right. Anybody else want to share? Yep, David, that was Cynthia. Yep. Okay. Thank you to those who shared. That was a really big deal. I appreciate that. And for those who didn't share, don't even worry about it. We're just going to tackle them right now. We're just going to tackle them. Okay. So now that you've identified your limiting belief, we're going to start to work on it. We're going to examine them a little bit more. And we're going to do it in 3 different ways. So now we're going to start to do a little time travel. You are going to step back to the past, as far back as makes sense for you and your limiting beliefs. So I'm not going to give you a time frame for that, but think about what has your belief cost you in the past. So what is the price you have paid for having this limiting belief in the past? And not just you, if it has cost other people, people you care about, maybe your team, your family, your friends, your business, your clients, if there's been a cost to other people as well, I want you to think about that. What does it cost you? And what have you lost or not gotten because of this limiting belief? So that's a lot of thinking. What I also want you to do is to feel it. So this is not just a thinking exercise, it's a feeling exercise as well. When we attach what we are thinking to emotions, it becomes a lot more powerful, also easier to work with. So as you are taking your notes on the price you've paid for having this belief, what it's cost you or kept you from having, I want you to tap into the emotion that you're feeling as they come up. Okay, so I'm going to give you a few minutes on that as well. And we're going to take our time with each step because they're really important. I want to go through each one thoroughly for this one limiting belief. So if you have any questions on that, put it in chat and I will give you a few minutes to work on this. All right, I'll give you another minute or so. I still see some heads down writing. David has coined a new term, unbrave. I love it. Okay. I think most of you look like you have written this down, possibly a little painful. We're going to keep going here. So we're going to move on to the next step, which is taking a look at your limiting belief in this moment. So in the present, what is it costing you right now? What is it costing other people? What is it costing your business, your clients, your family, your team, anybody who's impacted? What is the price people are paying and what you're paying to hang on to this limiting belief right now? What are you not getting because you're hanging on to that? So same as before, write down the price you're paying and the emotions that go with it. So think about it, but then you want to feel it too. Yeah, Ginger just shared feeling inadequate, not moving forward and gaining confidence, feeling stress. Yeah, feeling inadequate. What a horrible way to feel, right? It's a pretty potent lie we can tell ourselves. David sharing, it's getting in the way of making great things happen. Frustration bubbles, which makes it all feel that much harder. Yep. Fear of repeating mistakes of the past, work burnout, and lack of motivation. Yeah. I love how you guys are tapping into very, very specific feelings and describing it, not just coming up with one word, you're describing it. So I know you're really feeling it. To give you just a little more time on this. Kathy, thanks. I always feel like I have to learn more and more and more to adequately serve my clients. So I feel like I'm underserving if I don't spend every minute learning. Fear of not giving them the best, most current advice and letting them down. Yeah. It's a lot of pressure. Okay. All right. I think most of you're looking up, those of you on video. So we are going to move on to looking to the future. I personally find this the most painful step, I have to say. So if you cling to this limiting belief, what is the price you will pay in the future? What's the price you'll pay, other people will pay? What are you not going to have? What are other people not going to have? What is not going to be possible looking ahead a year, looking ahead 5 years, look ahead 10 years, look ahead 10 years. If you hang on to this limiting belief and you're 10 years in the future, what's going on? What's the price you've paid? How are you feeling about it? I want you to really put yourself forward and be really, really honest and get yourself there. For me, what's painful is thinking ahead to 10 years and thinking that nothing has really changed. You know, if I stay in my own way, it will feel like a waste of 10 years. It's not really a waste of 10 years, but it feels like it. And I hate to waste time and I hate regret. So that's why this step can be very painful. And David's sharing, in the future, there are so many people I could have helped. Ginger saying, dependence on others, still feelings of inadequacy. Yep. Yeah, really see it. Look around at the future. What will things be like if you stay married to this limiting belief? If you put more of all of your effort and your love and your attention into this limiting belief as opposed to breaking it? Wow. Okay, Rachel, thank you. I believe that if I don't resolve the feelings surrounding this limiting belief, I won't have a business in 10 years. David says, there was so much fun I could have had. Kelly says, stunted growth, missed opportunities, loss of potential impact and connections, causing regret, shame, sadness, self-hate, frustration. Cynthia is saying, if I stay committed to this limiting belief, I will regret not taking this COVID moment to pivot and become authentic and in my power. You guys are really there. This is beautiful. Thank you. Kathy's saying, if I keep learning and not helping, I'll end up like an encyclopedia that sits on a shelf unopened. I need to get out there and share what I know now. Yes. Kathy, we still have a full set of encyclopedias and they are used to hold up other books. They never get opened. Okay. Great, great. Thank you for continuing to share. That's so fantastic. It's helpful for everybody and it's really great to see. We are going to step into something more positive. So we've done, you know, some of the hard work, the dirty work. We're now going to take your limiting belief, the one you've been focusing on, we're going to find a replacement for it. Something that's positive, something that helps you rather than holds you back. So something that eliminates the bleak future that you just thought of in the last step. So think of your limiting belief, and a way to get to a positive statement is to think of what's the polar opposite? What is the opposite of what's holding me back? So here's an example. If your limiting belief is, I don't deserve the good things that I receive, you could replace it with, I deserve all of the abundance the universe has in store for me. If your limiting belief is, I don't know enough yet, you could replace it with, I know enough to have a big impact. I know enough to move forward. If the limiting belief is, someone else will do this better, so I shouldn't bother, you could replace it with, My voice is unique, and people hearing my story and seeing what I'm doing will have an impact on other people. Okay, so those are just some examples. I want you to come up with your replacement. And you may not believe it right now, and that's okay. You don't have to believe it right now. We're not flipping a magic switch. If I could do that, oh, I would so do it. We're coming up with a statement that you are going to use going forward. Okay, so I'll give you a few more moments on that. Oh, David, thank you. I'm glad you're not typing and driving. So I'll give you just a little bit more time on this. Again, you're coming up with a positive replacement that you may not believe right now, but you will. Eileen's coming up with, I will find the clients who need me, and the income will come along with the personal satisfaction of helping others. Yes. Actually, you know what? Why don't we do this? If you want to share, tell me, and I'll unmute yourself. I'll call on you one by one. How about that? So Eileen, I just read yours. David, do you want to share yours? If so, unmute yourself and do it. Oh, okay. I'll read yours. David's is, I know enough to experiment, the confidence to use feedback from the things that don't work, and the drive to make the things that work even better. Great. Marie, do you want to read yours out loud, or do you want me to read it?
Sure. I just said that if I get out of my head, I will actually help more people.
Nice, nice. Okay. Thank you for sharing, Marie. Kelly, do you want to unmute yourself and share?
Sure. Mine is, I am good enough now.
I like that. You took a 1-2 punch. I am good enough now. Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah,
Great.
thanks.
Kathy, you want to go ahead and share?
So I've been thinking about this because I actually did this with Lisa, like, I don't know, 6 months ago. And I have actually taken some steps as a result of that, doing that workshop with her. But I realized I kind of need to do this workshop pretty much every 3 months, maybe. So what I have done is, because I sometimes lack, I have this fear of not knowing enough when a client needs me for a specific thing, that I have created some single solution little presentations and workshops that are around something I'm super confident that I know cold. So I think that's just a way to get out there and get in front of clients with something I'm absolutely sure of. And then I think that's like the first step. It's like first step on the moon, and then I'll go from there.
As long as you keep taking steps forward and away from the limiting belief, that's awesome. That's awesome. Okay. Okay, so if you have your new replacement statement, here's what you're going to do with it. Start saying it every single day. So like I said, you may not accept it right now, but maybe you can accept the possibility of it, or you can look forward to the possibility of it. So part of the work that makes it true is saying it out loud. That's actually a really powerful way to ingrain it in yourself. And I find I say positive statements out loud and I'm moving when I do it. I feel like that gets them more inside me, more inside my body, and makes them more true and makes them easier to accept and then act on. You know, it's one thing to say, yes, I believe that. And then we want to be spurred to action. So your brand new, beautiful statement, I want you to say it out loud to yourself on a regular basis. And if it evolves a little bit, if you find that you need to tweak it a little bit, that's fine. And if it comes to a point where you don't really need it anymore, you can tackle another limiting belief and come up with a new mantra. So you can go through this process, very simple process, over and over and over. I want to open it up to some more questions and discussion in just a second, but I want to offer you some more resources first. My main resource is I do a regular email with tips and strategies and techniques for entrepreneurs. So if you'd like to receive that, I'd love to give it to you. All you have to do is text the word Rockstar to 33777. So that's Rockstar, all one word. Text that to 33777 and you'll get my regular newsletter that has all of those resources in it. And I also have a download that I just published called The #1 Phrase That Limits Your Success and How to Stop Saying It. So you'll get that as well. So some of the best stuff that I can offer you right now to help keep moving you forward. Let me go into the chat. Eileen says, I get Lisa's emails. They are great. Thank you. I did not pay her to say that, but thank you. Virginia, I think I'll print out my statement and tape it next to my computer screen. Great, great. Oh, we lost Cynthia. Thank you so much. Yeah, I love the idea. I'm a very visual person. So I tend to put things where I can see them because then, you know, it's harder to avoid them, you know, especially if it's something you're not cozy with yet. Putting it where you can see it is a great idea. Any other comments or questions? And we can, you know, I can call on you too if you want to talk out loud. You can unmute yourself.
I just want to say this is really great. I was on another conference call that I knew was going to be stressful, but I wanted to catch this. And you have no idea how I don't usually like these things, and I've said this before, and I'm always wrong when I show up to them because I get so much out of it. But I just wanted to say thank you so much, because in a way I was able to present like from this, it's like weird that it was happening, but I'm glad I had you on at the same time, and I look forward to more of this because it was really helpful to kind of visualize my presentation a little bit.
Great. I am so glad, Marie. Thank you so much for saying that. That's really cool. That is really cool. And I look forward to hearing from you again and seeing you in other things.
Yeah, no, for sure. You guys keep changing me in ways I didn't expect when it comes to this stuff. So I really, really appreciate it.
Thanks for being willing to change. Okay, I think Kathy's going to stop the recording now. And then if there are more questions,